Can I make a motion to move this outside?
Yeah.
It'd be granted.
That's my whole
All right. Mr. Davis?
No, we did miss one small section of Mr. Moore, and if you don't mind, I could just publish it now by myself. It's about
It is
7
there?
minutes behind.
No, Your Honor, and it was entirely my fault. I tired eyes and I missed the last page.
That's quite all right. Yes, sir.
All right, just to finish
Can
then.
you tell me where we are?
This will be on your page 306. It's the very last page of the,
All right, give me 1 second.
Second
Better
page.
get to that one pretty good. You say 306?
306, so the second day's worth of testimony.
Oh, he didn't hand me a copy of that.
You have your copy.
That's okay.
I didn't. I don't know if I know if I even had it.
I'm looking for that.
And,
Perhaps the reason why I missed it, Your Honor. I don't have it.
Okay, he doesn't, I didn't get it, so come out fast enough to copy.
This is the second page we're on. It's just on.
Ms. Tessier, I believe there's a witness in the room. Any objection or being present while you do this?
No.
Go ahead.
It starts on line number 13, Your Honor. I'll just publish this in.
Yes, sir, I'm there.
Question, Mr. Moore, when you were discussing Exhibit 55 with Mr. Waldrop, were you in office as a county council member in Anderson County? Answer, no. Question, did you ever vote to place Joey Preston on leave? Answer, no. Question, if, once you were in office, you had learned that Mr. Preston was entitled to a due process hearing before being placed on leave, would you have supported giving him whatever he was entitled to under the law? There's an objection of speculation. Answer, yes.
Thank you. Now you ready to call this one? And that comes in without objection. There wasn't an objection to that, was it?
There was no objection.
Okay, all right, thank you very much.
Your Honor, the defense calls Ms. Gracie Floyd to the stand.
Come forward, ma'am, to the center here in front of me to be sworn.
I can ask you to raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm testimony you will give the court today in this case to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? If you would take the witness stand and state your name and spell your last name for the report, please. My name is Gracie S. Floyd. My last name is Floyd.
Your witness, Mr. Davis.
Good afternoon, Ms. Floyd. Can you tell us your address, please?
I live at 1201 Ramona Drive. It's listed in Belton, South Carolina, 29627.
Do you have any children, Ms. Floyd?
Yes, I have two fine sons. Gregory William is 40 years old, and Kenneth Wayne will be 37 on Wednesday.
And you're a widower, is that right?
Yes, I am, since 1999.
I'd like to turn your attention to your educational background. Where did you go to high school?
I went to high school in Columbia, South Carolina. This was my hometown. I went to Booker T. Washington High School, which is now a part of the University of South Carolina.
Did you go to college?
Yes, I did. I went to a small college in Columbia, Allen University, where I graduated in 1967.
And what degree did you get?
Well, I received a degree in business administration.
Was that your last degree?
No, sir, I'm afraid it wasn't. I also went to Clemson University, where I received my master's degree. I went back to Clemson to get a degree in secondary school administration. In other words, it qualified me to be a principal of a secondary school. I went back and I got another degree. Did I say counseling? I received a degree from Clemson in counseling, secondary school counseling as well. And I went back to receive another degree in elementary school administration because I thought maybe one day I would want to become a principal of an elementary school. But I stopped I didn't get that certification because I stopped like at one course. And then I went to South Carolina State College and I received about 14 hours on a PhD. But I was tired and I quit. I'm a dropout.
Now, just so Judge Couch knows a little bit about you, can you walk us through your job experience?
Yes, sir. I have to say it's vast, but please know, sir, that I have never been terminated or fired from any positions. The Lord just blessed me to go from one to the other. I started as a teacher. I taught shorthand, typing, and bookkeeping for 2 years. And then I had to quit teaching because I got pregnant. At that time, they would not let teachers teach in a school system who was pregnant. I was in District 5, so I had to quit. Going back, I went back right after Greg was born, it's like 3-4 months, because, we needed the money. And then when Kenny was born, I had to quit again. But I have taught adult education, remediate reading to adult education. I have taught from the 2nd grade through Tri-County Tech, every grade through Tri-County Tech. I have worked as a counselor for vocational rehabilitation, where I was at first the evaluator. Evaluator is a person who determines what type of job would suit each person based on their skills. And then I worked as a counselor for vocational rehab. I had the drug abuse, the alcoholic, and the mentally challenged caseload. And may I say I led the office in that? Okay, and then I worked as a case manager for underprivileged kids. No, let's call them at-risk kids. I worked for a case manager for them. I loved it. And then that led me into a job as an assistant principal at Honea Path Middle School for 8 years. And then I obtained a job as a principal in Abbeville County at the middle school there. I only served there 1 year, sir, because at the time my husband died that May after my completing 1 year, and I couldn't cope in that capacity anymore. And then I received another job down there as a parenting, the supervisor of the director of the parenting program in Abbeville. I loved it. I've never had a job I didn't like.
I'm not even sure how to respond to all that. Let me ask you this. At what point in time did you find yourself on Anderson County Council?
Well, that's kind of sad. My husband dropped dead of a massive heart attack in May 1999. And at that time, he was on county council. He was chair of county council. This was on a Thursday. I promise you that on Thursday night, he died at 1 o'clock. Thursday night, somebody came to my house and asked me if I would consider running in his spot. They came back on Friday. My sister would let them come in on Saturday. Okay? And we buried Floyd on a Sunday. And that Monday, it started over again. I have a dear, dear, dear friend who called me and told me that, my friend said that I should consider it. So a week to the day, to the exact time that Floyd died, I was standing up in the courthouse declaring my intentions to run for his spot. I won the election on my anniversary. It was September the 14th, 1999. And I was sworn in October.
That's some story. You were sworn in 2000 or 1999?
1999.
1999. And during your time on Anderson County Council, how would you describe your experience?
Well, I came out of the chute running, okay, because I don't think that folks give much credence to pillow talk, all right? But I wasn't naive or dumb about things that were going on, because Floyd would talk, you know, he would talk to me about it. So I knew kind of what was going on. So it was good. It was good. I enjoyed it. It gave me a chance to become involved in something other than myself and my grief during that time. So I was learning. I was talking to people, and I was getting out, and my experience was good. As it went on, it got better. It got better because the first thing I did was I delved into the brown fields, if you know what a brown field is. Brown fields are places where they used to have old mills, and the old mills moved away and everything died. You're leaving behind brown fields. So one of the first things I did,
Well, let me ask you this question. How would you describe your relationship with the other county council members over the years?
well, it was good. It was Bob. Can I mention who was there?
Sure.
Okay. It was Mike Holden. It was Clinton. It was Greer. And that was it. I believe it's two more, but I can't remember the names at this time. It was just a 5-member council at that time, and it was good.
And what time frame are we talking about now?
When I first got on,
1999.
1990 on up, you know, that whole year, it was really good. I was kind of like, even though I was older than anybody else up there, I was kind of like the baby, because everybody was, you know, oh, it's going to be all right. You know, that kind of thing. But anyway, it was good. It was good.
Have you served on county council continuously since 1999?
Yes, sir. I've been there now for 13 years.
And did that initial good experience at any point ever change?
Yes, sir, it did.
How so?
It did. Well, the first two, 3 years, I guess, I was thrown into my work with District 2. That's the district that I represent, District 2. And under the administrator's guidance and his and his helping, we accomplished a lot, especially in District 2. As you may or may not know, that's one of our depressed areas here in this county, and it needed more attention. And when we were actually working toward that, it got the attention that it needed. But then one year, when they went from 5 districts to 7 districts, that's when it started. First, it was kind of subtle, and things were being said, but nobody really challenged what was being said. One of my constituents told me that you all need to be challenging what is being said out there, because it's coming off as if it's the truth. You need to challenge that.
What was being said?
Well, I can't think of anything particularly, but it was just facts that were being misrepresented and things that you just knew that wasn't true. But the time of the council, we thought, well, we'll just let this person just go on, and we will, do what we have to do. And I even went to our administrator one time and said, we need to be challenging every time something is said that's not right. We need to challenge it. But it was too late. By the time we got ready to challenge it, it was on.
Let me ask you this. We've heard a lot about different characters in this case. Obviously, Mr. Preston is the defendant. Tell Judge Couch what your experience has been with Mr. Preston.
Okay. Judge, Your Honor, I'm not just going to say here and say all of this because he's sitting there, because what I'm going to say, I can say behind his back, okay? But, sir, when Joy Preston was there, I would go to him and tell him what we needed here in Anderson County. And we got it. For example, I went to a meeting at Tri-County Tech, and I was told by Tech that the minority representation at Tech was 1%. Now, y'all know that's not right. So I found out that the problem was transportation. And I went to Mr. Preston and I said, we need transportation from here to Tri-County Tech. Mr. Preston got on it, okay, and he assigned Michael Cunningham to that thing. Next thing I knew, we were in Washington, D.C., lobbying for the money that we were going to need. Judge, we got the money. It came from Senator Hollings. I think we got over about $300,000. We put that bus in. It was a good thing for Anderson County. It was a good thing for our students. But yet, we received so much hate and haggling from a certain group of people who said that next thing you know, we would be serving biscuits on the bus. So we did. The first day, we served biscuits on that bus. That's one of the things. My mill site was another. I declared sometimes early that I was going to clean up those mills. I was criticized by the newspaper. So all I had was an idea. I didn't have any money. No, sir, I didn't have the money, but the idea was just as good as money. We went to, in order to get a grant like that, Your Honor, you have to be there. These people have to see you. All right, so we went where they were, and they saw us. Took us 3 years, but finally we got it. And we started cleaning up the mill site here in Anderson County. We ran out of money, and we just received another $200,000, I believe, to finish this project. But it will be finished, Your Honor. Also, houses. My district was just dotted with dilapidated houses, and it makes for a bad community. I went to Mr. Preston and said, we need to tear these houses down. $15,000 was put in the budget for that purpose. It's too bad that District 2 got all the money for it, but we were the one to work the hardest, okay? But Judge, we tore down a lot of houses because I went to the administrator and told him that we needed money for this. God, there were so many other things that I was able to accomplish and that the city was able to accomplish. We needed jobs in this area. So what we did was we looked at the infrastructure. I remember going to several meetings where we sat down with these huge maps and we had to look at where the infrastructure was going. So we started building toward 81 because at that time it seemed that that's where the traffic was going. Coming into 81, and it had all of the roads and everything. So we started planning for future developments by putting in the infrastructure, and that caused a lot of problems, Your Honor. That caused a lot of problems. But we did it anyway, and because of that, I think Walgreens was one of the first ones that came up there.
Now, Ms. Floyd, let me ask you a question. Because there's been a lot said in this case about financial transparency. During your time and in your experience while you were on Anderson County Council, what sort of audits did Anderson County get while you were on, or while you are on County Council?
Okay, we received an audit every year. I think I remember the name of Green. Was it Green and Lindley? I can't remember the names of the auditors, but I know you have to change them every so often. But anyway, we received an excellent audit every year that I had been on that council before Mr. Preston, and I think we've had, after Mr. Preston, but before Mr. Preston, we always received an excellent audit.
During Mr. Preston's tenure, what sort of audits did Anderson County get? All clean and excellent?
All, and I think we were more prized. One time it seems like there's a lot that I'm trying to remember here because this has been, it's been a long time. But we received an excellent audit, and I think we did receive a prize one time, or an award, or whatever they want to call it, out of Columbia.
Do you recall instances where allegations were made against Mr. Preston regarding the lack of financial financial transparency?
Yeah, I remember them talking about it and carrying on about it, but I don't remember when it was started, when it actually started saying that. But I never could understand that because, like, we were getting the good audits. We went over the audits. We knew what was in the budget. We had our budget meetings, but I just never could understand that.
When Anderson County conducts an audit, does it use a certified public accountant?
Yes.
Does that certified public accountant sign off on its report?
Yes. And I remember telling them one time that nobody would sign his or her name to a lie. I remember telling them one time that no auditor would put his credibility and his reputation on the line for Anderson County or Joey Preston just to tell a lie.
Especially 11 years in a row.
Oh, yes.
Ms. Floyd, do you recall when Joey Preston and Councilwoman Wilson started to become at odds or butt heads?
I don't recall the exact day and time, but yes, I do remember it being a problem.
What do you remember about that?
Well, I remember it seems as if he could do nothing to please her. She would ask questions, and he would. One thing I liked about the way he did this thing, he had his people at the meetings. No one person can answer all the questions. No one person knows everything. So he was smart enough to bring in his people who could answer the questions, but that never seemed to be enough. He always had to go back and get this and go back and get that for her. And then at the next meeting, she would complain that she asked for this, she asked for it, but she didn't get it. And he would say, well, you did get it or you didn't get it because we're still researching. Because what she was asking for was not anything that you open the file cabinet and pull out a folder. It was nothing like that. It was research. But and I remember one night she asked for so much stuff. It was stacks of papers brought in to the county council and sat up there on her side. But it was always something. It was always picky. And I think that it started because of the this Beaver Dam Creek thing. As you know, Miss Wilson did not want the Beaver Dam Creek water line built. And you know what the Beaver Dam Creek is? The sewer line that runs from 81 down to the nearest pump station. She didn't want it because she said it would cross her
Property.
Wait a minute, excuse me. Judge, may I have a minute, please, sir?
I should have
Yeah.
told you about this